And I sort of watched it go below the tree line, and a moment later I heard a thud, and I still remember the looks on everyone's faces. Myth just sort of turned around and almost looked guilty.
Yeah, I remember the email.
By email, the group email, yeah. I got an email and I was like, I was checking my emails, reading through, and I was like, oh, like...
I got an email when I was at work from someone else who was at work at Boeing, and yeah, sort of circulated pretty quickly.
And it wasn't good because, I mean, like anything that crashes, you put so much effort into it, and then for it to just crash, it's like your baby, it's just died.
Very demoralising. You've put all your heart and soul into this one plane, and then it's gone, and it can fit in a box about 1/2 metre by 1/2 metre. So yeah, it's a huge setback, and it really messes up for the rest of the competition.
But it didn't really have that much of an impact as you'd initially think.
I guess in hindsight, like, the crash was probably a really good thing as well.
We planned to move to the new system anyway, and in a way, not immediately but shortly after, it was sort of even in a positive light. It's okay, this has happened, this happens in real life, let's move on, let's progress to the next stage.
Yeah, well, yeah, it also was interesting seeing we had to fight the fire, which had started. We started a bit of a bushfire, unfortunately, because the batteries in it, I think, exploded once they sort of hit the ground.
We sort of grouped it back together and started on this Long Easy, the new platform, and I mean, that new platform's something else. Hey, we've totally exceeded all of our expectations in like the quality of workmanship that's gone into that. Hey, a lot of good engineering's gone into it. Yeah.
Flies well, it looks good when it's up in the air. The engine that we've got on it now is better than the first one that we had.
But it's a not as forgiving aircraft. Myth can probably tell you that.
I don't know, it's really cool watching that thing fly. Like, Myth is an awesome pilot, like, just watching that, like, when you hear it come into land, you can hear it coming into land, Like, it comes past you, it's boom, it just sounds really cool.
That's all good, but yeah, it's good like that, but it's not the ideal aircraft for the competition.
It's a lot better than the Big Lift, yeah. Structurally, I'm not a structural engineer, so I have my reservations about it, but so far it's held up.
Just like you said, being fast and very sleek aircraft, it's not designed for stability, as in like a training aircraft is. Training aircraft is slow and steady, and this one, a little dip and it goes up.
A couple of us were in here having a couple of late nights, and we basically just sort of said, look, we've put all this work into this project thus far, like, let's do everything physically possible to get us to the competition. Like, there's no point getting half there,
Yeah.
and looking back and saying, shit, we could have put a little bit more effort in and maybe made it. You can't hold back on that sort of thing. So
An easy crash. It was such a misfortunate thing. It was such a beautiful plane. It was taken off down the runway, and just as it was getting to the end, just started to lift up, and all of a sudden a freak gust of wind come and took it and flipped it over onto its roof, just like a snap roll. Flipped it over to its roof, and it skid along for about 15-20 metres, but it busted up the frame beyond repair. And that was it. 10 days out from the competition, we didn't know what to do. But that didn't kill anyone's spirits. We set off on a voyage to start again. Within hours of that accident, we procured a new frame. We got back home about 9 o'clock that night, started building the next one. Within 48 hours, we'd finished building it and took it out the next morning for a test flight. It flew beautifully, took off in 1/8 of the distance, and landed at about half the speed. And then a week later, we're out flying it, loop tuning it. We'd actually turned it into a UAV for the 3rd time we had a UAV. We achieved wings level, autonomous, which meant that at any attitude that aeroplane would level off. But then it got caught in a treetop. We momentarily lost control, and Myth started to bring it in, and then he lost control again, and it was aiming straight at us. We all started running for the bushes, and all of a sudden he got back control and snap rolled it back around. Must have pulled an 8 to 12G manoeuvre straight into a treetop. We'd just like to thank God, our sponsors, which are QUT, Raytheon Australia and Royal Aeronautical Society. They're our main sponsors that gave us most of the money. Also, we'd like to recognise Sage Consultants and GPS Sat Systems and the numerous technical staff around the university, all the team putting in so much passion and tenacity into this project, working sometimes nights on end without sleep. Also the academic supervisors for their technical input, and all our families for supporting us through